In 2020, an underwater robot was rising through black water off Western Australia when a silver line entered its lights. It kept going. The line curved into a spiral almost 50 feet across. No head, no spine, no obvious end. Researchers estimated the animal at roughly 150 feet, longer than a blue whale, yet little more than a thread in the dark. The ocean keeps building giants without bones. And this one had removed something even more basic. It did not have one body. The spiral was a siphonophore, likely from the genus Apolemia, thousands of cloned units, or zooids, grown from one fertilized egg. Some swim, some catch prey, others digest or reproduce. They remain attached and share resources until separate bodies function like organs. The spiral was feeding. Tentacles hanging from its narrow stem turned a thread into a vast capture surface. It did not need a whale's mass to occupy more space than one. That sounds like the trick. Replace one giant body with thousands of small ones, except the next giant rearranges them around empty space. A pyrosome is a colony of tiny tunicates packed side by side in a hollow tube. Giant species can occasionally reach 14 to 20 meters. Water enters through thousands of intake openings, crosses thousands of filters, and is expelled into one shared cavity. Watch what that does? Every zooid feeds locally. Every outgoing current joins the same central jet. The tube glides forward without a separate engine. Now colonies seem to explain everything. Then in Monterey Bay, a camera finds a transparent structure almost a meter wide. Water pulses through chambers too fragile to survive a net. A laser switches on, and hidden passageways appear inside it. But the animal operating the structure is only a few centimeters long. It is a giant larvacean called Bathycordeus, living inside a mucus house. Its tail pumps seawater through two filters. Researchers calculated that one animal could process up to 76 liters per hour. One tiny body, a meter-wide machine, and unlike the first two giants, it is not a colony. So water must be the answer. On land, size creates a structural bill. Bones, muscle, and support tissue fight gravity every second. Water changes that bill. Buoyancy can hold open a gelatinous tube, extend a transparent strand, or support a mucus net that would collapse in air. That seems to solve the mystery. The ocean carries the weight. Except it also creates the problem. Food may be scattered through enormous volumes. A wider body meets more drag. Filters clog, structures tear. In open water, every surface has to earn its keep, and most animals in the sea are not giants. Buoyancy explains how these structures stay open. It does not explain why they are worth making. Return to the 150-foot spiral. Its prey can be sparse, so the siphonophore does not become massive. It becomes long. Uncoiled, it spreads a curtain of tentacles through more water. Coiled, it concentrates that curtain into a spiral trap. Its size is not mass, it is reach, but length creates another bill. A conventional animal must circulate food and oxygen across growing distances. Signals must travel. Every added cell must be supplied and repaired. The siphonophore repeats modules instead. A feeding zooid captures food locally. Swimming zooids produce thrust. The colony extends the surface that hunts without constructing one thick, centralized body. The pyrosome solves a different cost. Thousands of zooids already have to move water to feed and breathe. By arranging those filters around one hollow center, the colony turns that same flow into propulsion. Most of the volume it encloses contains no living tissue. The center is seawater. Cooperation now looks like the deeper rule until the larvacean breaks it. Bathycordeus is one small chordate. It secretes a compressed mucus filter, inflates it with its tail, and uses the surrounding ocean as both construction space and working fluid. It does not grow a giant feeding organ inside its body. It prints one into the water around itself. The house solves a difficult sorting problem. Large particles are screened out while tiny edible particles are directed inward. But after roughly a day, the filters clog. A permanent organ would need cleaning and repair. The larvacean swims out. The abandoned house collapses like a punctured balloon, carrying trapped particles toward the seafloor. Researchers call these discarded structures sinkers. In Monterey Bay, they were estimated to deliver almost as much carbon to the deep seafloor as the ordinary detritus caught in sediment traps. The disposable organ becomes food for animals far below it. Water support was not enough. Colony life was not enough. External anatomy was not enough. But together, the three animals suggest the same hidden equation: maximum function, minimum biological investment, not minimum complexity. The systems can be extraordinarily intricate. The pattern is about where living material pays for itself. Three animals, three different places to spend the same currency. The animals supply living instructions. The ocean supplies support, space, transport, and force. But now the equation meets the animal that should destroy it. The blue whale is not a thread, a hollow colony, or a tiny body inside a disposable house. It carries a skeleton, enormous muscles, blood, organs, blubber, and a centralized nervous system. Almost everything these other giants avoid, the largest animal on Earth builds permanently. And permanent mass is expensive. It must be fed, oxygenated, accelerated, kept warm, repaired. If the ocean rewards minimum biological investment, the blue whale looks like a 100-ton refutation. Then it opens its mouth. A feeding blue whale accelerates into a dense patch of krill. Its mouth opens. The throat expands. An immense volume of prey-filled water rushes in, and the whale slows under the drag. Then the mouth closes, and water is forced back out through baleen, leaving the krill behind. The lunge is costly. At low prey densities, it may not pay. But when krill concentrate, the reward can overwhelm the expense. Muscle drives the burst. The skeleton anchors the force. Blubber limits heat loss. Baleen turns the head into a reusable filter. Here, permanent body is not wasted structure. It is the machine required to capture a dense, moving jackpot and carry that machine across an ocean. So the whale does not disprove the pattern. It makes the pattern harder and more precise. The ocean does not reward the least body. It allows each animal to spend body only where body earns a return. A whale pays in mass. The other three spend differently. The ocean has separated the meanings of large. Length can be large. Capture area can be large. Water processed per hour can be large. Ecological effect can be large. None requires the same amount of animal. Return to the silver spiral off Western Australia. At first, it looked like one enormous creature hanging in the dark without bones. Then the giant broke apart into thousands of bodies. Those bodies became specialized parts. The empty water between the coils became hunting space. The current became support. The surrounding ocean became part of the design. The spiral was not a giant body floating in the ocean. It was a giant function, assembled from tiny bodies and completed by the water between them.